Hey guys, it's Will from the Back 40. It is Thursday evening. I am in Washington, D.C. I have a few more meetings tomorrow, and then I'm going to be headed back to the great state of Missouri. So I'm not sure what happened today, but I had about 10 people that sent me a private message asking me if I was going to speak about the Farm Bureau endorsements in the state of Missouri. And my answer to that question, with all respect, is I already have. If you guys remember, for the last several months, I've been telling you the personal story about the time we ran a candidate for a Senate district down in my part of the state of Missouri who had taught VOAG Tech in high school at Bolivar High School for over 20 years. He was a row crop farmer. He was a cattle farmer. He had sent generation after generation after generation of students into farming and ranching. He was running against somebody whose claim to fame was they were the spouse of a cattle farmer. That's it. He knew more about agriculture than the other candidate. He was a practicing farmer and rancher. And I mean, honestly, if there was ever a situation where you could say the standard applied, that he had forgotten more about farming than his opponent ever knew, it would have been in the case of this candidate. And he was not endorsed by the Farm Bureau. He made his presentation. He outshined his Republican opponent by leaps and bounds. He understood a grasp of the issues around agriculture and rural health policy, etc. It wasn't even close. And I'm not just saying that as a political consultant. I'm saying that as an outside observer that watched the presentations, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, he would have been a much better candidate for rural America than the Republican senator that they endorsed. But what you guys have to understand is that the Farm Bureau is no longer a farm advocacy organization. Now, they advertise that they are. They try to pretend that they are in the state of Missouri, but they're not. They're not a farm advocacy organization anymore. They are an insurance company. That's all their claim to fame is, okay? They are not out there making decisions in terms of their endorsement of candidates that are best for rural America. If you endorse a candidate that cuts Medicaid and costs thousands of people in rural Missouri their insurance, you are not advocating for rural America or farmers. If you vote for or you endorse politicians that endorse the Trump trade agreements and the tariffs that have caused us to lose 33% of our overseas marketing opportunities in agriculture and are going to cost somewhere, depending on what economist you believe, 13 to 23% of our row crop farmers to go bankrupt. If you're endorsing politicians that support those policies, then you are not an advocate for farmers and ranchers, okay? If you are voting for candidates that want to take money out of rural schools to pay for rich kids to go to private schools in our blue cities, then you are not advocating for rural America or for farmers and ranchers. So the reason I haven't spoken on this today or yesterday is because I've been speaking about this for a year. They are no longer a farm advocacy organization. So when you see the Farm Bureau endorse Republican candidates who are doing everything they can to destroy rural America in the state of Missouri, look at it no differently than you would if you saw a major insurance company like Blue Cross Blue Shield or someone like that endorse a Republican candidate who was bought and paid for, because they're the same thing. The Farm Bureau is an insurance company, and no matter how much flowery language they put on their website, no matter how much they stand up at their meetings and get red-faced and raise hell about the fact that they're fighting for American farmers and ranchers, they're not. They are an insurance company. And the sooner we all come to terms with that, and the sooner we stop trying to hold them accountable as a farm advocacy organization, the more we'll be able to sleep at night. They're an insurance company, and you should feel the same way about them that you do any other insurance company in this country. So I hope that helps. Been talking about it a long time, but I think just like any other topic, it gets lost in the videos. So happy to come on tonight and tell you where I stand. And I don't see that opinion changing anytime soon. Have a great night, everybody.